Dear guests, I'm glad to see so many of you here early this morning, ready to start a new day. I hope you had a nice evening last night and really good talks in the margins of the discussions on stage also yesterday. To set the scene and to kick us off this morning, we're going to have a discussion on how we move from policy and paper to practice on making labor migration pathways work. We are absolutely honored this morning to have a special address by the Pakistani Federal Minister for Overseas Pakistanis and Human Resource Development, Mr. Hussain. May I welcome you to the floor.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, excellencies, and esteemed colleagues, it's an honor to address this distinguished assembly at the Vienna Migration Conference. In this session, where we focus on the vital theme of labor migration pathways, moving from paper to practice. Labor migration remains an integral aspect of global connectivity, particularly for countries like Pakistan, which have long contributed to the global workforce. European Union and Pakistan has initiated a migration and mobility dialogue to promote regular migration and discourage any irregular means. Under its umbrella, talent partnership programs are planned to facilitate safe, orderly, and regular immigration of Pakistani labor to EU countries by exploring legal pathways of labor migration and their reintegration upon return. The first and second rounds of MMD were held in March 2023 and April 2024 in Islamabad and Brussels. Under the program, the various projects are initiated to further expand the cooperation. Let me inform you the Ministry of Overseas Pakistanis and Human Resource Development is pursuing an aggressive reform agenda in the light of the directions of the Prime Minister of Pakistan. These include legal revamping, policy cover, digitalization, and mainstreaming of multilateral entities. The ongoing restructuring of our ministry cognitively aligned with the EU interventions, and the latter is assisting in the operationalization of its implementation plan. I would like to share Pakistan's perspectives, strategies, and ongoing efforts in facilitating safe, orderly, and productive labor migration pathways for our citizens. The recent example is the employment permit system of the Republic of South Korea, which serves as the best model to ensure safe, orderly, and regular immigration of Pakistani workforce under government-to-government labor cooperation, enabling Pakistani workers to access well-paid employment opportunities in South Korea. Through the MOU between the two governments, the Overseas Employment Corporation, OEC, which comes under our ministry, facilitates the smooth dispatch of skilled and semi-skilled workers, ensuring transparent, reliable, and cost-effective recruitment process. Over 12,000 Pakistani workers have been benefited from EPS, earning competitive wages and enjoying equal rights as Korean workers. This partnership has bolstered Pakistan's international labor footprint while exemplifying the importance of fair labor practices and skill development in fostering successful labor migration pathways. Pakistan is overhauling the entire immigration and welfare value chain within the country for ease of doing business. With the technical assistance of European Union, it has finalized a national immigration and welfare policy and its strategic implementation plan that emphasizes safe migration, protection of workers' rights, and skill development. Our goal is to ensure that our citizens working abroad are not only contributing to the host economies, but also realizing their full potential while having their rights safeguarded. Our agencies, Bureau of Immigration and Overseas Employment, Overseas Employment Corporation, and Overseas Pakistanis Foundation are playing a central role in streamlining recruitment processes, ensuring transparency, curbing illegal recruitment process, and reintegration of returnees. For the coming years, the government's priority is to diversify labor markets by establishing new migration corridors, particularly with the European Union, and strengthen the capacity of our workers through upskilling programs. We are committed to a proactive, worker-centered immigration policy, focusing on ensuring welfare, social security, and effective reintegration of returning workers. Recognizing the changing dynamics of our global markets, we are committed to expanding and diversifying legal migration pathways. We are actively working on enhancing bilateral agreements and talent partnerships with the EU countries to create more structured migration channels for Pakistani workers. Our focus is on formalizing migration flows to prevent exploitation and ensure that both low-skilled and highly skilled workers have equal opportunities to access legal migration routes. In terms of targeted sectors, we believe information technology, engineering, healthcare, and vocational trades, such as transportation and hospitality, should be prioritized. Pakistan has a robust workforce with specialized skills that can meet the growing demands in these sectors globally. We have also developed targeted training and certification programs to ensure that workers can meet international standards, especially in emerging technology and green energy sectors. For Pakistan, a successful partnership with the European Union on a legal and labor migration should rest on several key pillars. Firstly, investment in skills development is critical. By collaborating with the European Union and its member states, we can work to align educational and vocational training programs with the demands of the European market, ensuring that our workers are well prepared in advance. Secondly, ensuring the protection of workers' rights is fundamental. This can be done through bilateral agreements that guarantee decent work conditions, social protections. We pride in being the first country to have established migrant resource centers and would emphasize their expanded role, which can serve as information hubs for pre-departure orientations, as well as post-arrival support for Pakistani migrants in European countries. Lastly, facilitating mutual recognition of qualifications and work experience will enable smoother transitions for Pakistani workers entering European labor markets, particularly in technical fields and high-demand sectors. This requires collaboration between educational institutes and government bodies in both regions. In conclusion, Pakistan is ready to build meaningful partnerships with the European Union that prioritize both legal migration and socio-economic development, benefiting not only the individual workers, but also contributing to the shared prosperity of our nations. I thank the organizers for this platform, and I look forward to further dialogue on how we can turn these policies into practical solutions for our people. Thank you very much.
We will now continue this session. My colleague Oleg, Chirita will moderate the discussion together with the Bangladeshi Secretary from the Ministry of Expatriates, Welfare and Overseas Employment of Bangladesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Malin. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. Very good morning and welcome to our session. entitled Labor Migration Pathways, Moving from Paper to Practice. But let me get back to the poll that Malin launched yesterday at the beginning of the conference. 55% of those who voted chose meeting labor market needs and skills as one of the priority topics, not only the Vienna Migration Conference, but also of the EU agenda and international cooperation. Yesterday, we had many speakers who made clear references to how to leverage labor migration for labor market demands, while others emphasized the importance of labor migration and skills for development. Other participants highlighted the role of bilateral agreements for manpower recruitment, and Bangladesh was also mentioned, I think, by the Greek minister, as well as whole of government approach was invoked as a key principle governing labor migration. Moreover, international cooperation was repeatedly mentioned as the cornerstone of migration governance, with a special focus on legal pathways and skills development. Therefore, today, during our session, we will be discussing about all these aspects with a distinguished participant, Mr. Muhammad Ruhul Amin. You are currently serving as the Secretary in the Ministry of Expatriates, Welfare and Overseas Employment of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. I also read in your CV that you are committed to ensuring safe, orderly, regular and responsible migration. And also yesterday in one of our private discussions, you told me that you are advocating for a comprehensive package to labor migration. So if you don't mind, I would like us to discuss today how do you ensure this comprehensiveness when it comes to managing and governing labor migration. And we would like indeed to start, as the title of our session entails, with some policy frameworks that your government has put in place. For instance, while preparing for this session, I came across your comprehensive national action plan for skills development that is very much connected with your overseas employment policies. There is a strong connection between this type of policies, and my very first question would be, what are the benefits of establishing this nexus between migration policies and national skills development policies, and how do you make it in practical terms?
First of all, I'd like to thank ICMPD and Vienna authorities and European Union for having me here. As we have discussed, and many participants discussed yesterday about the regular and safe migration, we are also willing to have our migration governance to a scale that will ensure the safe and regular migration. As you said, that we have a national plan and it is focused on the skill development. Before going into details, I just want to mention the present status as a country. We are still predominantly dependent on the unskilled and semi-skilled manpower to be for overseas employment. And it is a fact that we have some unemployment issues in our domestic markets, and there is limited access to the some parts of the world, especially for EU and European countries. That's why what we are doing now, we are more focusing on the skill developments, and it's we are formulating our national plan as we have a 5-year national plan, which is aligned with our technical and skill development efforts. And for this reason, we have established our technical training center all over across the country, so that we can provide access to get training in various skill fields, in various trades, And we are also implementing, we are also introducing the language training so that our workers can go abroad with a minimum competency which requires to be to get into the job with a better remuneration. And into our budgetary process, we synchronized our skill development efforts with the budget, what we call medium-term budgetary framework, so that we can provide funds from the national budget to provide training. And you will be happy to learn that all the trainings are free of cost in Bangladesh. No participants required to pay any amount for their training. And if I say about the demand-driven efforts, we have a national authority which is assigned to make the curricula in a way which can fit with the overseas as well as national demands. So, as a whole, we are making our technical and vocational skill training in a way that it meets the demand of the domestic requirements as well as the overseas requirements. And in this regards, we are also making partnership with the multilateral organization, including EU, and there are some. We already made some MOU with different countries so that our labor rights protection could be ensured. And finally, what I want to say that. Whenever our workers is going abroad, we are considering the strength of our local capacity. For example, we are more focusing on the ready-made garments skills. As you know, we are one of the leading garments export countries. So. We are sending some garments skilled workers to Jordan regularly and other parts of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much for scratching the surface. We'll definitely get back to the element of partnership in a couple of minutes from now. So we've been spoken about policies. Now let's transit to practices. Again, while preparing for this conversation, I got to understand the context in which labor migration occurs in Bangladesh. And for example, I was informed about a wide range of practices, good practices that you are putting in place. For instance, when it comes to recruitment and employment of manpower abroad, you put in place a quota system, different incentives, protection measures, but also I think yesterday we devoted a session to the migrant resource centers, also as a tool to support and facilitate legal pathways. At the same time, on the skills development, you have just mentioned already a couple of initiatives. You have been also ensuring accessibility and equity for specific groups with a very special focus on women. So we can see that the government is trying to address overseas employment in a very complex and holistic manner. Can you please share with our online and audience in the room 2 or 3 innovative or good practices when it comes to recruitment, skills development, or even reintegration of returnees, those who come back and have already acquired skills abroad?
Thank you. Before, just I want to say that as we are planning to manage the migration governance as a totality, we are focusing from recruitment process to reintegration. In days ago, we are mainly concentrating on the sending workers to the different destination, but right now we are more focusing on the reintegration and the labor rights. Before going from pre-departure to reintegration, it's a package. We implemented a mandatory policy to have pre-departure training before going outside of the country, and in that pre-departure training, there are a range of topics from culture to food habit and the rules and regulation of the country of destinations. Even all our workers who are willing to go to abroad, they will have to be insured under the coverage of insurance with a minimum only $10 approximately for once in a life, and he will be able to get various benefit if he is injured or in case of death. So, we are also introducing some policy which could provide recognition of prior learning, those who have are in abroad with and he may acquire some experience, but he doesn't have any certification. So we have an online process by which we can provide him certificates so that he can be able to get a better opportunity in the country of destination. And you have mentioned about the reintegration policy. We are already we have been implementing a project with the support of the World Bank, and there are also the project will be start with the support of the European Union talent partnership. Under those projects, we have already formulated a reintegration policy, and under that policy, will after coming back to home, he will be provided supports in terms of making his livelihood in a better way. We provide trainings, we provide informations through our centers, which you mentioned, and we are also making a collaborative efforts between the centers and our recruiting agencies and all other stakeholders, including NGOs and CSOs. And we are in the process. You also be aware. Will be happy to know that we established a bank which provides loan during going abroad and after coming back to home, with no collateral is required and with a very low rate of interest rates. So in totality, we are providing support from taking preparation for going abroad up to coming back home.
Very interesting, and again, I'm coming back to what you told me yesterday about, comprehensive approach, both in terms of services that you are providing to migrant workers, but also in terms of institutions involved. You have already mentioned, I think, 2 times the keyword partnership, and you also made clear reference to the talent partnership with the European Union. Also yesterday, the Greek minister mentioned that there is a bilateral agreement between Bangladesh and Greece. Also, Romania, Croatia, and Bulgaria are cooperating with you in order to recruit manpower from Bangladesh. So it seems that your bilateral cooperation with Europe, and not only, there are also some other regions you just mentioned, Jordan, the Gulf countries, is advancing. And my next question would be, what type of strategies or maybe innovative strategies are you currently undertaken in order to expand your markets, to offer more opportunities to those citizens of Bangladesh who are willing to go to work abroad? And maybe my second sub-question will focus more precisely on the Bangladesh-EU talent partnership. How does it work? What would be your expectations vis-à-vis the evolution of this partnership? And also when it comes to one of the practical tools of the talent partnership, which is the talent pool. From your perspective, how can Bangladesh benefit from this pool?
As you know, that European Union is not only working with us for migration, and since years, European Union is our trusted development partners, not only for the migration, but as a whole, we are working to develop our country along with the other development partners. It is important for us to make a linkage between the demand and the supply. You know that the information, the technology, and the appropriate skill is the key to diversify your markets, job markets. In this regards, I hope that talent partnership could be a breakthrough for us, as well as it will create an opportunity for us to get appropriate access to the markets where our workers could go and get a better life. Talent partnership, the main objective of the talent partnership is to build capacity of our aspirant migrants, so that they can easily adapt with the jobs in the overseas country of destination. And it's a process by which we can develop our aspirant migrants from training to reach to a country. And talent partnership would be an example, and hopefully will have some opportunity in regards to the European market, for example, Italy and Germany and Romania. And we are working together to modify our even curricula for training, so that it can easily be fitted with the job requirements. And this partnership could lead us to build a project which could lead us to make a appropriate mechanism to ensure safe and orderly migration. And you know that whenever safe and orderly migration will be encouraged, it will decrease the trends of irregular migration. We are hoping that it will ultimately bring a solution which will decrease the tendency for irregular migration.
There are a couple of member states in the room. How would you convince them either to join the talent partnership or to cooperate, to collaborate with Bangladesh in the field of labor migration?
So far, I could understand it's a win-win situation. If a partnership works, it will be helpful for both the countries, both the sending and the receiving countries. So I'll request all the countries of EU to work together to make a better environment for safe and regular migration. And it is obvious that there are lots of demands in the European countries, as we heard from yesterday's discussion. So it will be it will be helpful for both the parties to have cooperation among ourselves and to contribute for the development of both the countries. And if we make a effective partnership, then we can meet the demand of the country of destination. And I'll also want to inform you that other than professionals, we have in every year there are training for nurses, caregivers, and all other trades. For example, construction. We are now sending skilled manpower to live to South Korea with the help of the Human Resource Department of Korea. So it will make a better arrangement between the organization linkage. And it will also help us in adopting technologies so that we can, our experienced migrants could have the chance to learn and to use the technologies which is required required for working and jobs in the overseas market. And as you said, that we have already signed agreement with Greece. We are working with Italy and governments to make an MEO, and there is also, we are waiting to get the response of Malta and Spain. We are working for a legal pathways by making the MUs or agreement to get the access into those markets. On the other hand, we are making our youth prepare our youth with the skill required for the job markets.
Excellent. Unfortunately, we have very little time left, and I would still like to take maybe one or two short questions from the audience. I see a hand up there. Please introduce yourself.
From the African German Working Community in Berlin. I have three questions. First, how do you leverage your interests in bilateral negotiations? What is the most difficult to negotiate? That's one question. And the next question is, how do you ensure the participation of potential labor migrants and diaspora in your decision-making processes? And the third point, I don't understand yet the strategic rationale for your countries in labor migration, because wouldn't it be somehow clever to wait heavy labor shortages in the global north and wait until the companies must invest in your countries? Is it clear, or should I repeat the third point?
Thank you. First of all, as you said, that there is a labor shortage in those countries. We are focusing on the laborers through making agreements and MU. In the MU and agreement, we ensure the rights following the ILO standards, and from our side, we also aware of the fact that there is some sort of mishandling by the agencies. So what we did, we fixed the migration cost, and in some countries we are following to fix up the minimum wages so that our migrants could have a better packages for their livelihood. And As I said that we have a welfare strategy by which we provide different types of support to the migrants and their families. For example, if anybody injured or in the stations, in the job places, will provide financial assistance as well as bear all the costs to get him back to the country. And for their family, we provide support to their children, to their families. And recently we have introduced, going to start a project by which we are making a headway to make their families for a rational investment of their income. So it's really important for us that whenever migrants send money to their families and they're spending their monies with day-to-day expenditure, we are working to make them informed by which they can invest their earnings in a way it will ensure their future after coming back home. For migration governance, we recently amended some of our rules and regulation by which we are trying to eliminate the middlemen who are involved in the process. Under the law, we can take them under the law and punish in the criminal courts. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have, unfortunately, to bring this session to an end, but Mr. Amin, let me thank you for sharing with us your comprehensive approach. I think we have now a much better picture of the mix of policies, practices, partnerships that you are putting in place in order to facilitate safe, orderly and responsible migration. I would like also to thank Minister Salik, Hussain, both of you who traveled from far away to share indeed the perspective of partner countries with the audience. Without any further ado, I would like now to pass the baton to my colleague Jennifer, who will continue addressing the topic of labor and legal migration through the perspective of the private sector with her panelists. Thank you very much and enjoy the next session.